Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ken, and I'm your host of Wrestling is Awesome, the show where we talk about everything WWE. This is a live show going out on YouTube, which we do every single week, Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. UK time. And it's a live experience. We kind of have content which we're going to be talking about, everything that happened on SmackDown and Raw in the last week. But this is a live show. It's about the audience and those of you getting involved. So put your thoughts, put your questions in the chat. We'll comment, we'll talk about it, and be a part of the show. This will then turn into a podcast, which I put on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get a podcast, we will be there. So it's your chance to be part of the show and part of a podcast. So I'd like to introduce my panel of guests that I have with me this evening. My right-hand man, as always, Neil. Neil, the real deal. How you doing, Obafemi's wise man?
I'm doing good, sir. I'm doing good. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm not doing good. You'll find out why.
Okay. We used to be called Bitching About Wrestling, and we seem to be heading towards back to that title because there are some decisions which, we may not be that happy with, but we'll be going through that. Also joining me this week is the king of disciplinary deathmatch, Lee. How you doing, Mr. HR?
I'm good, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I'm on Neil's side tonight. We're changing the title to Bitching About Wrestling.
Back for one night only, yeah. Well, maybe not one night only, repeatedly. Good to have you back, Lee. And also, after a little absence, Lolly, you are back on the show. Welcome back, Lolly.
I am. Thank you very much. I've still got a bit of the flu left over, so if I'm on mute, you can tell why, because I'm still clearing my throat like an old Victorian child.
Great stuff. Good to have you back. And also joining the show, he wasn't here last week, but he made such an impact and we had to have him back. We have Belt Up Brido. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. I would say I would try to bring some positivity to it, but I'm probably in the same camp as Lee and Neil. Went a bit the other way this last week, so...
There's been some funny decisions, hasn't there? Yeah. Okay. Well, look, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to those people in the comments. Why Geordie Brown? Do I refer to you as Why Geordie Brown? You've been on the chat a few times now. Is it just Geordie? Mr. Brown, what would you prefer? He says, good evening, my wise men and woman. Another good main event segment again from Raw. Yeah, we will definitely be coming on to that. Also joining us is Chris. How you doing? Thank you very much. Welcome back as always. Chris is a regular viewer and a follower of us, and we really appreciate him. So thank you very much, Chris. Okay, guys, I think there's only one place to start, right? And we have a new WWE champion. Obviously, this match was booked straight after Elimination Chamber. The fact that Drew was getting into Cody's business all the time. Nick finally felt he had enough. And despite the fact that, he didn't win the Rumble, he didn't win the Chamber, just got pinned in the Chamber, he thought, Cody deserves a title shot on SmackDown. And he did, and he won. So, Neil, what do you want to talk about?
There was a far better way to get your multi-man match going. And whilst I'm aware that Drew won the title on a SmackDown, having him lose the title on a SmackDown, where, did he defend it on a pay-per-view? On a PLE?
Once against Sammy at the Royal Rumble in Saudi.
Right. It didn't feel like he's defended it.
No.
Didn't feel like he's had I've had intrusive thoughts longer than his title reign. What are we doing?
It seemed like a very strange decision. It's like they pivoted immediately after the chamber.
And somebody said when he won, somebody wrote, and I saw this on social media, and you see things on social media and you laugh because you're like, ha, bull, that's a lie. And it literally said, Drew is 100% a transitional champion. And Drew McIntyre, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not a good reign. It's not a good reign for Drew, and it seems like they've just put the title on Drew for the tour, the European tour, so he could show off in Scotland and do all the radio and do all the promo work that he did over there. to then just take you back off him before WrestleMania. Lolly, do you think they're still going to go for a multi-man match? Do you still think that is a possibility, or is it just straight Cody versus Randy Orton?
I think it's going to be Cody versus Randy Orton. I don't think it's going to be a multi-man match. I mean, potentially there's going to be like some interference, but I think it's going to be a straight Cody versus Randy match, because they seem to now be building up this story about their friendship and how that's going to be like at odds with the title and things like that. So to me, it seems like it's just transitioned into that storyline now.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling as well. And I mean, the tease was there long ago, and we didn't necessarily see it coming now, because even after WrestleMania, we saw those pictures of Randy looking up at Cody and the belt, and it's like there's been laying some foundations. It seems so late in the day to kind of go the way they've been, and it almost seems like a face versus face as opposed to anything else. So, Brido, how do you feel about that?
Well, I was going to be disappointed with the Drew thing. I'm very biased. I did make a post saying, let's enjoy this while we can, with Drew and Joe. Drew and Joe. Sorry.
That's a tag team right there.
Yeah, I know. Enjoy it while it lasts, because it won't last long. As for Cody Randy, I do think it will be Cody and Randy. I don't see the multi-match happening at all. Not now. After seeing the graphic, I know never say never in wrestling, but I definitely think it'll be another singles match. I think it's ripe for a heel turn between one of them. Everybody's want the long sought after or well talked about Homelander style Cody. Would that come about, or will we finally see coming back to that kind of raw, gritty heel Randy Orton? Will he go that one last time before he eventually hangs up his boots? I wouldn't be disappointed with either. I'm just maybe a little bit disappointed in it, that it is Cody against Randy, because it just didn't really. It's not something I'm not excited to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. Lee, give us your thoughts.
Mr. Oldest, I have got 3 of the scariest words in the HR world coming up. Breach of contract. You agreed that Cody would not challenge for that title unless he won the Rumble or won the Chamber, and he has not done it. So I am the king of the disciplinary death match, and I am making my way to the States, and I'm going to get justice served for our champion Drew McIntyre.
They touched on it, didn't they? And he said, well, you said you were going to leave Cody alone and you didn't. And it's just like, if it's contractual, it's contractual, my friend. Just saying that he's not going to take somebody out. And it's fine if it was going to lead up to Cody being a part of the match. And I didn't have a problem with that. But to put the title onto Cody into WrestleMania, we all know that Cody's better chasing. So to put him on it and then have Randy the one chasing just seems a really bizarre decision. Neil, I know you got some more thoughts because you're itching. Go on.
Firstly, the whole thing of the Randy Cody thing, they already did it. I think it was King of the Ring. Was it not the King of the Ring finals?
They have done it already, yeah.
Where they already played, and they already played on the can Cody take advantage of can he take advantage of a weakness? Because I think they the whole playing up of Randy's back. That, so I was like, you don't need to run that back. And also, on top of that, it's in the contract.
It's in the contract. Breach. It's look, we're at where we're at. It's more likely going to be Drew versus Jacob now at Mania. That's kind of how I see it going. But yeah, I think for a lot of fans, it's just lackluster. It just seems non-inspired, and we all thought that like 4-way was a real potential. I think 3-way originally we thought Drew, Jacob, and Cody, but then with Randy winning, it's like, this could be a fatal 4-way now. And look, anything can happen between now and WrestleMania, but you're right. I think what maybe make this feel a little bit more impactful is straight after Chamber, if they'd done like the graphic, Drew versus Randy, and then did the change, but nothing happened. And it's just like you just knew it was going to happen, and it's just, there's no reason to put a title match unless you're going to make the switch, and unless Cody got screwed again, which then meant he got into the title picture at WrestleMania. But it was fairly clean. Jacob came out and just took the chair away, and that was it. A big Cody Cutter, and that was it.
It was clean as Kiminagi. There was no shenanigans whatsoever.
Yeah.
Both up, and that reflects onto our main events now at WrestleMania. We've got 2 face versus face main events.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yawn.
Yeah. Yawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's just go over to the chat. Geordie, Cody Hogue.
Hold on. Face versus face.
I know where you're going.
We know how you feel about. We know how you feel about
have,
a certain person. We'll come.
We don't have face v face.
We'll come on to that. Geordie Brown says Cody Hogan wasn't surprised and wasn't happy with it. At least could have done a multi-match, and you can just call me Yordi. Okay, Yordi, we'll call you that. Chris, I thought the story and the way Cody got the title back was good. It definitely will be Cody versus Randy single match. Drew, from what I read, will be back in the UK starting filming Highlander over WrestleMania week. I mean, Drew missing WrestleMania, that'd be something. I know he kind of had a WrestleMania moment last year. It was last year, wasn't it, that he won the title and then he beat Seth and then got cashed in on?
2
Was
years
that
ago.
last year? Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, of course it was, because then he had his big feud with Punk and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought he'd already done some filming for Highlander. Maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's taking the time off now to go away and do that. But for him to not to be a WrestleMania would be a big miss. Absolutely.
No, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he'll be missing WrestleMania. The general consensus is that he is going to be filming Highlander after WrestleMania, and I don't see a WrestleMania without Drew. To be honest, don't see that.
Yeah, no, he is a huge MVP for them. Absolutely. Right, what do we move on to now? Let's talk about Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins came back with a multitude of masked men, and I had mixed feelings about this segment. We know Triple H has got a hard on for masked men, but that was kind of taking the piss this week. It just seems a little out of character for me for Seth. It's just that he's not someone who tends to hide, but he is at the moment. It's not like he's gravely outnumbered. He's got Logan Paul and Austin Theory to contend with. So why he needs to, duck away and hide amongst all these masked men, it's very, very strange. He's not talking yet. Apparently he's not medically cleared, whether that's storyline based or whatever it is, most likely. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this segment. Some people have said it's absolutely awful. Other people have said it's fun. It's fine. Who wants to talk about it?
Where is he finding these criminals? Like, there's hundreds of them. Dressed in the night. Is he on Craigslist?
Seth Rollins, you know who he is? Seth Rollins is Agent Smith in The Matrix Reloaded. The way these masked men just keep popping up. He's just roaming around the back, and he'll just find someone in a hoodie, and he's just like, you, me, the ring.
Yeah, it's strange. Well, Alex said he liked it. It was something different. And I Am Yeet Police on TikTok, I don't think it was out of character because he was kind of the way he is. I get it. I don't know. I mean, I think we spoke about this last week. Him versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania isn't interesting. We've seen that. We've been there, done it. So what do they do with Seth now? Unless, do we think Bron Breakker will be back by WrestleMania?
I don't know. The segment didn't do a great deal. I didn't hate it. I just thought it went a bit cartoony at one stage with the kind of mixing them up in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate the segment. It's just, again, I feel like Seth's been rushed back because of maybe the injuries, and I'm just not sure. Again, Seth Logan Paul does nothing for me, but are they backed into a corner because of Bronson and Braun being injured? Mm-hmm. I just don't know. I expected to see Seth at WrestleMania. I just didn't think it would be in regard to this. I thought it'd be involved in something else towards Punk and Roman, but that could still happen as well. But yeah, it didn't do anything for me at all. Just didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lolly, so Chris has said the mask managed to protect him as he's still not cleared to wrestle, and also they're from Seth's own wrestling school. I know a lot of them are. Some are definitely not in the shape to be wrestlers. There was some difference. There's some very different characters. There was diversity. Yes, there was. Oh, Alex, good reference. Or the foot from TMNT. Yeah, good reference, Alex. Thank you for joining the chat. Lolly, how are you feeling about Seth at the moment?
I'm feeling a bit indifferent, and I think that might be the worst thing to say when it comes to wrestling, to be honest. I didn't hate the Masked Man segment, but I think because they've done the Masked Man thing with Austin Theory only like a few months ago, it just feels like a little bit too soon for me. Like we've only kind of just got over that, and now we're back to masked men again. So I'm kind of really like distinctly on the fence with it at the moment, which I don't think is a good thing, to be honest.
It's something about masks. Like I said, Triple H is hard on. It's like he's pushing everyone with a mask. You've got Penta, you've got two Grande Americanos. If you got a mask gimmick, you're getting a push right now. Look, we'll
Don't
see.
forget Dragon Lee getting it on with Gunther.
Yeah, exactly that.
Although I have to say, I'm preferring the El Grande Americano face-off more than anything to do with the Vision at the moment. That's far more entertaining to me.
Yeah, the stuff with the Vision has fallen really flat because of injuries, and they're trying to do something with it. And you know what? I would just say leave it be. Let them maybe go after the Usos. Let them do the tag thing, and just keep it distance. Give Seth a year off. WrestleMania this year, maybe that's where he just needs to recover fully. Yordi, Seth versus Brock, trying to get revenge for Paul Heyman. That if Bron Breakker is back in time. Obviously Seth took out Paul Heyman. Brock is going to be back next week. So whether he has issues with Seth because of what he did to his wise man, because is Paul Heyman going to come out next week, or is Brock going to come out and stand there and do nothing and no one answers his challenge? Who knows?
Seth's gonna have to be 120% to have his first match back against Brock Lesnar.
That's true. That's
Sod
very
that.
true. It's probably not the wisest move, is it? Right, let's move on. So the other sort of like main part of Raw was the end segment with CM Punk. He obviously came out to the crowd and he said he wasn't sure of the reactions he was going to get because of the comments he made about Roman's father last week. I heard some of these guys' thoughts, but Lolly and Friday, I want to come to you. Lolly, how did you feel that segment went? And did you have issues with Punk, and how do you see him with the comments he made?
To me, and I know that in our group chat last week, from last week's Raw, I said I felt like there was a shift, like creatively, content-wise within it. And I feel like that's still kind of maintained. Obviously, I don't know if that's got anything to do with Road Dogg exiting the company. But to me, it feels a bit like there's a new era being ushered in.
A new era.
I don't know what the era is going to be called. I want to call it the toxic era. Because it was quite toxic comments from Punk, I won't lie. And then obviously with Kit Wilson calling everyone toxic, I thought it fit. But I don't necessarily have any problems with the comments because I'm assuming they all got signed off by creative.
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so. But yeah, I'm just kind of interested to see how this segment goes. I will say I am getting a little bit bored of the shows finishing with just promos in the ring.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would like just a match, please, rather than just, people bitching at each other. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of intrigued to see how it goes. It'll be interesting because I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to sit with Punk and the Usos and Roman Reigns now, because I feel like they're all as bad as each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Brido, how did you feel about that segment last week?
I enjoyed it. It's definitely been signed off. There's not a hope that coming up to WrestleMania, Punk main eventing with Roman, that even with Punk's history, that he's going to risk doing anything to upset anybody that bad. So it's definitely been signed off. I like the segment. I don't mind it. It brings a little bit more grit into it. Will they do the kind of low-hanging fruit thing of Roman maybe saying something back about the dog? Who knows? But yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely see a kind of a shift in CM Punk more towards the kind of heel side. It's in my opinion, it seems to be quite obvious that he's getting a little bit darker. I don't know if maybe that's amped up because it's WrestleMania main event, but it seemed to me just that he was amping up the kind of little more grittier, little more older style Punk. Not quite all the way there, or any, well, actually not anywhere near the way there, but still a little grittier. And we just really need to see what happens when we see Roman again. I just really hope we get to see a good bit of him. Not necessarily any major kind of in-ring action before WrestleMania, but I'll see a lot more of him. I know he's got dates penciled in, but I just really want to see him on TV for the feud to keep building, because so far I think it has been really, really good with the segments we've had.
Yeah, I mean, Roman's got a schedule leading up to WrestleMania. It's only every other week, if that, I think. And he's definitely not going to be wrestling before WrestleMania.
No.
Jeez, do you know what I mean? He wouldn't take that kind of risk. But the Usos, Jey Uso in particular, was very agitated this week. Obviously, they're out following the segment with Seth. Coming out after LA Knight, and so we didn't even mention that the Usos and LA Knight all getting involved in the vision. I don't know, and I don't care. But obviously they came out to talk to CM Punk. They wanted an apology, and I think this is an example of where Jimmy is so much better on the mic and his presence than Jey. Jey gets angry, he says a couple of words, but Jimmy delivers a promo, and I thought he was fantastic. And obviously they took out Punk. They are close, but they wanted the apology, and Punk kind of gave his fake apology where he was like, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry for the way Roman's treated you, and you guys are just Muppets, basically. Neil, how did you feel about this promo with the Usos?
Right. Punk is a dick. Right? Now, like, I'm sure everything got signed off. So it's not like, oh, was it a low blow, right? But here's the thing. Punk's outlook was, oh, like, why should I apologize when Roman said all of this stuff, right? All the
about
things that
Cody's
Roman said
father
to Cody.
and stuff.
Right. Now let's dive into that. First things first. Punk referenced Dusty and said, he's my mentor. He was talking crap about my mentor. He's not your mentor. If I recall, isn't Paul Heyman his mentor?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it Paul Heyman who was always going to WWE to bat for CM Punk? So I was like, well, Dusty's not your mentor, so I would. That's one thing. That's you're using that. You shouldn't be using that. Then, also, Dusty isn't Punk's family.
Mm-hmm.
When Roman said everything he said to and I'm not defending, storyline wise, I'm not defending anything that Roman said to Cody. But didn't Roman get his comeuppance for that?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Roman get slapped in the face? Oh no, I'm sorry, The Rock got slapped in the face,
Mm-hmm.
right? For all these conversations about Dusty and all of that, right?
The family, yeah.
Right? The whole family thing. Didn't Cody turn around and say to The Rock and Roman together, your ancestors would be ashamed of you at that WrestleMania panel thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Cody does not need Punk to be like fighting his familial battles, right? So there's that. Also, at what point did Roman say, I'm gonna? At what point did he reference the fact that Dusty is dead?
Yeah.
Right? At what point did he say anything about him being dead? He didn't. He said nothing. There was nothing that Roman said. You're irrelevant. Okay. Everybody who's a wrestling fan knows that Dusty Rhodes is one of the most unirrelevant people to ever look at a wrestling ring. So there's that. And I'm like, this guy's getting on my nerves with this talk. He's trying to use other people's situations to justify his bad behavior. And we're not done. I told you I was going to rant. I told you, look, this morning. Remember, it was about 8 o'clock and it was about 8:30 in the morning. I told you, look, this is going to be a rant. When Punk was like, oh, Roman treated you guys like crap, right? The whole reason Roman became the tribal chief was why? Because he needed to secure the family legacy. It was like, the family legacy can't end with me. I need to secure it. And what happened? The Usos became what? The longest reigning tag team champions of all time. Didn't the family main event both nights of WrestleMania in Las Vegas? Oh, okay. Yeah. So regardless of the way he went about it, he didn't go about it in a great way, but he did what he said he was going to do. He cemented the legacy of his generation, of his family. Might not have treated him in the best way, but that's why he did it. Everything that's coming out of Punk's mouth is just because, oh, you got told to apologize.
Yeah.
Also, going, did Punk treat the Nexus any better than Roman treated the Bloodline?
And Chris has just mentioned in the comments, Punk did just as badly when he tipped Paul Bearer's urn over the Undertaker.
Oh, you see what I'm saying, right? You see? And this is what I'm saying. When Punk was talking, I was just like, lies, accusations, bullshit. I'm sorry. The rant, it got me, right? You maybe got a little high pitch there, but, right? Punk, just storyline wise, I'm like, Punk is the heel. He is the villain of this. And also, he's not just disrespecting Roman's dad, he's disrespecting the Usos' uncle.
Yeah.
Like, when you say what you say, you're now actually getting other people involved. So when he's like, oh, I'm sorry that, oh, why am I on the hook for, I'm saying this, but Roman's not on the hook for that. Roman got his comeuppance twice. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Take a breath. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. Like they also said, it's not about Roman Reigns. You know, it's about you apologizing to the family. And, you know, Punk's not getting it. Look, despite anything being signed off, I just didn't feel the line fitted the promo. It's irrelevant to Roman Reigns and what he's about. Cody Rhodes but he is all about his father. Everything he's doing is living up to the legacy of his father. Everything he did is impacted by that. I want to do this because my dad never won the title, and everything is referenced to him. So then when you're having promos, it's obviously going to be a part of that. Roman never references his father. He never talks about him in that way. He talks about the family, and he talks about, like Neil said, the legacy, and, you know, the fact that they bestowed upon him the Ulafala and all this kind of stuff. But it was just so out of left field, it made no sense at the time. And it was just one of those cutthroat lines that's how you end the promo. But it was like, it doesn't make any sense of the story, you know? So that was the main issue I had. What we said in the comments. Chris, I thought Punk overstepped the line a little with that promo, but I did like the USO response and Jimmy taking Punk down. Yeah, I thought that was good. I mean, we may see the USOs fall back in line now with Roman Reigns to support him. We're going to WrestleMania now because it's all about family. Yeah, we said what Neil is so mad he got high pitched. He then called him a son of a bitch. Yes, he did. And that's insulting their auntie. Very good point. Well made, Alex. So it's not just one person he's insulting their whole family. Look, we'll see what Roman Reigns brings to the table next week, and what he wants to talk about. But yeah, I mean, Punk's there every week, right? So whether we have another face-to-face. But yeah, again, we've ended the show several times with them now, and Punk, let's have a little something else. Lee, go on. What's your final thoughts?
I want to see Punk do a parody video now of Justin Bieber's Sorry, and just, it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late to say sorry now. No.
Right. What else are we going to talk about? Let's talk about the gauntlet match. We had a gauntlet match to determine the number one contendership to the Women's Intercontinental Championship for a match against AJ Lee. Not the biggest fans of gauntlet matches. We know that Alex really doesn't like them, but I thought this was really great. It took up most of Raw, I think, in terms of the matches, but it was, really long played out. We had Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria, which I thought was a great match, and Io went over there. Then we had Raquel Rodriguez come in, and she showed some of her power and her strength, but then Liv Morgan came down, caused some interference, distracted Raquel, who then obviously got pinned by Io. Raquel went on the offensive after the match, huge beat down on Io, and then Ivy Nile just swept in for a quick pin. Then we had Ivy Nile versus Bayley. I thought Ivy Nile looked fantastic this week. New get up, and they've referenced this in I think it was an Instagram and a TikTok about Ivy Nile. She was showing that she's got abs, and I think Maxine Debris was like, why are you always wearing onesies when you've got this figure? And then literally this week she comes out and she's like in this new outfit. She showed her power, her strength. She's someone who could definitely do more if she was given the opportunity. And then Bayley is the Bayley to Bayley like the worst finisher? She's got like two of the worst finishes, the Bayley to Belly and the Rose Plant. I just can't with those moves. Ivy Nile was decimating her, and then she hits her with a Bayley to Belly to pin her. You can have your thoughts. So Bayley defeated Ivy Nile, and then we had Bayley versus Asuka, and Lyra Valkyria came to neutralize Kairi Sane. Bayley won, and she's fighting AJ Lee next week, which was a surprise on Raw. So, Brido, how did you feel about the gauntlet match?
Enjoyed it again. A lot of talent in that match. I was shocked Bayley won. Mm-hmm. The only reason I can probably see is because it's AJ Lee, maybe having somebody a bit more experienced that she could work with better, who's Agreed. Possibly the best suited to work with her. I'm still championing Raquel Rodriguez. I'm still hoping we'll get more and more coming from her. I'm certain it will be with Liv, pitting them against each other, but I'm always a little bit disappointed now seeing her maybe eliminated a bit early or that kind of way. But yeah, good match. Shock, a little bit of a shock winner. But like I said, Ivy now looked great. I don't know if any of you follow Ivy now on TikTok or anything like that on her socials, but she's always, you see it. It's just every video is so impressive as well. It's just it's really, really good. But yeah, solid match. Enjoyed it. Probably the best kind of women's match I've seen in a while on a TV show. But yeah, really, really good. And hopefully we get a decent kind of feud between AJ and Bayley leading up to Mania here. Or is it Mania?
So no, Bayley versus AJ is next week.
Next week, sorry. We're not going to get a build. We're just going to get the match. So yeah,
we might get a couple of matches. It looks like maybe before Mania even happens, and maybe it might be a multi-person match at Mania rather than just being a one-on-one. So they have all these number one contenders in contention at the moment and building that up. Alex and Chris both thought Io was going to win. Lottie, what was your expectations going into this?
I also thought Io was going to win when this started. And obviously, as the match progressed, I was quite shocked by it. So from that point of view, I was quite impressed by the booking because the fans did not get what they were expecting to get. But yeah, I was really impressed with Ivy Nile. I found her really exciting to watch. And I thought the whole match was just a really great showcase for all of the women's division as well. Like really fantastic. I also really want Raquel Rodriguez to get more of a push. I actually find her a bit more formidable than potentially Liv. I know I'm going to get a lot of people staring at me for saying that. But I think she's got the gravitas to be pushed further forward than she's getting at the moment. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the match is going to play out next week. I did think that Bayley was a bit of an odd choice, but I think you're right with your thinking around the fact that she's the most experienced there. It'll help AJ, because I think it's been said sort of online that she's kind of still trying to get her footing back in the ring and things like that. So it makes the most sense. But yeah, I found the whole match really entertaining. It was probably the most exciting match of all for me.
Yeah, no, I think there's a difference between being physically fit and match fit, right? So I think, she definitely needs some more in-ring time. She was with Becky and then Bayley, safe pair of hands. It kind of makes sense. I think, someone like Io probably a bit too much for her at this point. So maybe that will come later down the line. There's a little bit of build up. So Neil, I don't know if you noticed this. So obviously at the beginning of the show, when Asuka and Kairi Sane are walking through, Io's in the back kind of watching, seeing how Asuka's treating her. Do you see something maybe happening with Io and Asuka, like maybe leading into WrestleMania? Is that maybe why she didn't take the win here, and there's going to be a story there?
I would hope that it was leading up to a match for them at WrestleMania. I mean, the wonderful thing about having two nights is that you can make a lot of matches. But no, I just looked at it and I was like, okay, yeah, you're going to have it that Asuka's going to lose a bunch of matches, either because Kairi either doesn't help her or helps her and it goes wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And then it's basically what I imagine they're leading up to is the Pirates of the Sky tag team reforming.
Yeah.
Right? The Pirates of the Sky, which was Io and Kairi together as a tag team. I think they're probably leading up to that, and then someone will turn up to be Asuka's partner. But yeah, I think they're leading towards a solid face turn for Kairi.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad move actually, to put her in the tag team scene again for a little while, Io, because there's a lot of talent around the two titles at the moment, and she was with a champion with Rhea, so again she can be champion again and go back into that scene. Lee, what are your thoughts?
I wasn't surprised Bayley won. Bayley would have been my pick to win that match. I thought she sort of led forward. The only surprise is, why is this match not on the Mania card? This is a glorious match for Mania. Lovely IC title defense, but I would have watched it.
It'll be a multi-woman match if that title is on at Mania, but it'll be a multi-title match, a multi-person match, because one, you have to think about, like Ken said, you got to think about AJ's ring readiness, because you think it's not like with Punk, at least he had that. He did the UFC for a bit, then he was in AEW for a bit, so he was able to kind of get the ring rust away, and it was just reacclimatizing yourself to the style of WWE. AJ hasn't done anything ring wise, so it's like a lot could go wrong when you're missing tiny little fragments of timing. So it's best to put her in there with the safest hands you got available to you.
My biggest woe with that is you're not going to have multiple matches.
No.
And I want a multiple match for the women's tag titles. I want TLC for the women. And if we're sticking multiple women on the IC match, we ain't getting that TLC. So, Trips, dial it in, mate.
Yeah, I mean, we keep talking about these multi-matches, and like Lee just mentioned, we can't have all of them. So I guess maybe the two title pictures not being that allows for more down the card, and you get more people then onto the card. But it's a really good point. Right, just want to take this moment to say thank you very much to everybody who's watching. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. And if you're watching on TikTok, please make sure you hit that follow. If you have a look in the corner of the screen, it reverses it. So I think it's actually going to be this corner because when I pointed last time, I wasn't pointing at the sign. So I'm going to point this way and hopefully it's right. You'll see a QR code. That's our affiliate link to WWE Shop. So if you're planning on buying anything from WWE, make sure you scan that code and it will support the show and allow us to progress and do more and try and make this full time. I'd like to be able to do this every single. Can you imagine doing this every day? That'd be awesome. Right. Let's talk about Penta. So Penta is your new Intercontinental Champion, being Dom last week because he was cursed. And I thought that Penta delivered a great promo from the heart. You cannot not like this guy. He's absolutely awesome. And originally he was supposed to be facing the original El Grande Americano. But on the way to the ring, he got cornered by Danhausen. And he kind of dismissed him a little bit. And as a result, he got cursed and he missed the match. We don't know exactly how it happened, but we're presuming the new El Grande attacked him and then he took his place. So we still had El Grande Americano versus Penta, but it's just the newer version. And again, great match. Obviously, Penta was going to win. There's no way you could deliver that speech and lose your first match. So kind of saw where the result was going with that. But yeah, really great match. And yeah, Lottie, what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying Penta at the moment. So I really enjoyed the match. I really enjoyed his promo. I enjoyed the whole lead up to it. And I'm really excited to see what he does with the Intercontinental title. I think he'll bring some relevancy back to it because I feel like with Dom, and I know a lot of people like Dom, but I just felt like he wasn't doing much with the Intercontinental title. So I feel like this is going to reinvigorate it, and I'm looking forward to it. Also because the Intercontinental title is my favorite of a lot of the titles. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, definitely. And unfortunately, a lot of the heels at the moment, they'll capture a title and then just do nothing with them. We used to be in an era where they would have title matches because they had to defend every 30 days, but cheat win all the time. It's like you can have the matches, but they just find a way to win. And that's what makes a good heel. You don't just have to hang on to it and not defend it. We had the same with the Judgment Day in the tag team titles. They held it for months without having a title match. So yeah, there's that. I understand that you can't always get them on the PLEs, but we've seen you can have title matches on weekly shows, and the unexpectedness of the wins means that they will still mean something because we do get those random title changeovers and stuff like that. What do you think's next for Penta, Brido? Do you see a long run potentially with him, maybe for like a year or something, and just kind of working his way through the card, or like maybe a 6-month championship?
I would love to see. Obviously, we're going to have this El Grande Americano storyline play out, but I'd love to see Penta do more with Chad Gable. Obviously, when he first came in, he had Chad Gable early on. I don't know, it might have even been the first match. But
yeah, it was his first. It was his debut match, yeah.
Like a proper one with Chad Gable against Penta. We don't need El Grande Americano after this kind of plays out.
Yeah, they're actually having a match next week, the two El Grandes, so hopefully that's going to be the end of it next week, but we'll see. But
just get Chad Gable in a feud, possibly with Penta, or in and around that kind of Intercontinental title scene. Again, yeah, let's bring the Intercontinental title back up again, a little more relevance. Dominic is one of these guys, a bit like, in my opinion, like Drew, where you don't really need a title on him that much, that long, for him to be relevant. As much as I'd love to see Drew with a title and things like that, he makes his way without it. He does deserve it at times, probably, yeah, but let's say these guys sometimes don't need it as much as a Penta or previously an LA Knight and things like that. So, yeah, I'm happy Penta's got it. A bit more relevance, a bit more in-ring action, and hopefully a feud with... I mean, there's plenty there that you could feud with. There's plenty. There's Finn is around about the scene as well. There's so many people in about there that could have great matches with Penta. I mean, he'd probably have a great match with himself. You know, I don't know, but I'm looking for a bit more kind of action from the kind of Continental Champion.
Yeah, exactly. And Penta's the type of character, he doesn't need to be cutting promos all the time. His presence and his aura is enough, and his in-ring ability speaks for itself. Any more thoughts on Penta before we move on?
I think he'd have a cracking feud with Ludwig Kaiser, wherever that guy is. I don't know, but
yeah, when he returns, whenever that may be,
wherever he is. No, I don't know. Who do you see him facing at Mania if he has a Mania match?
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Chelsea Green.
Chelsea.
4 falls.
That'd be magic. That would be magic. What have we said on the chat? Steve, Penta goated, get the Lucha Bros back together. Yeah, do we expect to see that in WWE at some point?
Eventually.
Absolutely. That was the original plan. And then AEW held Rey Fenix back. So that's why Penta debuted on his own. I mean, I'm at AEW, handed WWE the win because we would have got the Lucha Bros, which would have been amazing, but we wouldn't have got Penta on his own, just the aura of Penta alone.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. But at the same time, they're going to get to it eventually.
Yeah. I mean, the tag division on Raw is dire, right? I mean, I forgot the Usos are champions until they mentioned it on Raw, and they're not carrying the belts and stuff. So I don't know. It's just a mess over there on Raw. Let's talk about the Judgment Day. So obviously Dom was pretty pissed that he lost his title. He called out Finn Balor because he couldn't find him backstage because there's so many places to hide. And he called him out and, he blamed him for losing his title. Finn stood up to him, and we've got our Finn babyface turn, essentially. And he was kicked out of the Judgment Day, much like Edge before him, much like Rhea and Damian Priest thereafter. And he was pretty much kicked out of the Judgment Day. JD kind of being the real turning point, I think. The fact that he stuck with Dom and the Judgment Day and turned his back on Finn. And I thought it was delivered really well. I didn't necessarily think it was going to go down this week like that, so that was kind of unexpected. But this should be the build up to those two at Mania, right? I think the right match is for those two to have a match at Mania. What was anyone's thoughts on this one?
Please, God in heaven, please, Triple H, please give me my world champion, Finn Balor. I'm like, just give him a nice little run where for a couple of weeks he's got to face off against, hopefully it's JD versus Finn on Raw, and then it's Finn versus Dominic at Mania. That's what I need. And you know what would be the best thing ever? The best thing ever if between now and Mania, Finn just gets cheated out of wins, and then at WrestleMania, he's his music hits, he's coming out, he's got the proper music now, he's got the music back, but it's not that. Give me the Demon.
I was going to say, can he just be cheated all the way to Mania and then have the Demon appear at Mania? Let him be cheated all the way
to Mania, and then when his music is about to hit, the Demon comes out.
Yeah.
Oh my! Listen, right?
That would be fire. I have to admit.
If there was any justice in the world, this would be happening at next year's Mania, where it's happening in the middle of the day, and not happening at 1:00 in the morning. Because if the Demon comes out at Mania, there's going to be furniture moving around my house.
Well, luckily it won't be as late as it normally is because it's starting around 10:30, I think, or 10 p.m. UK time. I think it's 10:30. So it's going to be a little bit earlier this year, which is very nice. Lee, what were your thoughts on this?
Loved it. I love how Finn does that Pele kick to just rather than turn around and punch someone in the face, he turns around and kicks them from behind. I love it.
Wasn't it the same thing that he done when he turned in NXT? I think someone referenced that. Yeah.
Kick Johnny Gargano in the head.
That's it, yeah.
Poetry. It's about time something happened with the Judgment Day, isn't it? They've been a bit boring. Apart from Liv, it's just... Dom and Finn at Mania will be great. I don't think we'll get the Demon, but...
it's unlikely. I think he's already come out and said he's not going to bring him back, but you never know. It could be one last hurrah, but it's unlikely.
Do you need the Demon to beat Dom?
You don't, but I think it'd just be funny to see Dom's reaction to that version of him, and that's what would be the entertaining part. Not that you need him because he needs that version of him to overcome Dom, but just to scare the fucking shit out of him. He would absolutely lose it.
the final match of The Fiend cannot be him losing to Roman Reigns because the ring broke.
No, it's a really good shout. Right, let's move on. We had Carmelo Hayes versus Dr. Wagner Jr. in the United States match on SmackDown. I didn't know who this person was, but what a match. What a match that was. I mean, Carmelo doesn't miss. He doesn't have a bad match. But I was really impressed by Dr. Wagner. Did anyone here know of Dr. Wagner beforehand, or El Hijo de Dr. Wagner? Lee, tell us about him.
I watched the NXT brand, and he pops up on that quite often. He had a stellar match with Ethan Page, actually. Really great match. Those AAA boys don't do bad matches, though, do they? Even that funny green man. Just
Mr. Guada.
Yeah. I love AAA. What an acquisition that is.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. The cross promotion is actually really, really good. But yeah, again, this is, great open challenge. Don't know necessarily who's going to be each week. It's a real surprise. So yeah, Lottie, what did you think of this this person? Had you heard of him before?
I had no idea who he was, so I was quite intrigued by that. Also, I was quite glad because I think I've said before that I think WWE needs some new blood coming in. So I was actually really glad to see somebody that I hadn't even heard of coming in, and the match was so good. But like you say, I mean, Carmelo Hayes I don't think I've seen him have a bad match. Like, he's just on it constantly. And I think he's a great champion of that belt, to be honest, as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing more of this new guy whose name's completely dropped out of my head already.
Dr. Wagner Jr.
Dr. Wagner Jr. It's a catchy name, isn't it?
It
rolls off the tongue.
It resonates, absolutely. Right. Brido, talk to me about the tag team turmoil match for the number one contendership on SmackDown last week. Do you guys even remember this happened? So we had Faxium defeating Motor City Machine Guns, and then Los Garza defeated Faxium. Los Garza then defeated the Wyatt Six after interference from the MFTs, and then Damian Priest and R-Truth defeated Los Garza to be the number one contenders. Did you see that on your bingo card this week?
I watched it, yeah. I did the watch along on Friday night. Yeah, it's again just, I think, I don't know if maybe it was just me. You knew Damian Priest and Truth were going to kind of at least be the last one in it. And you knew what you were kind of getting. I can't get excited about the SmackDown tag team division because I don't think WWE can get excited about the tag team division in SmackDown. It's there's a lot of talent there. It's not the talent. It's just not a well kind of thought out thing. They just don't pay enough attention to it. They don't give it enough time. They don't dedicate any proper creative to it. I don't know who's actually doing creative for that. But to me, it just seems like a complete afterthought. We'll get nothing again probably at WrestleMania for it after we were kind of robbed of that TLC last year. So for me, it's nothing for me. Again, I did the watch along, but I'm going to be honest, I spent most of the time kind of either looking at comments or I just couldn't get involved in it. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, it's a strange one because the SmackDown tag team division just over a year ago was like the hottest thing. It was great where they had the Street Profits, they had Gargano and who was it? Jumper. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And the Motor Machine Guns, and they just had a lot going on, and they had that fantastic ladder match. There was just really, really great stuff. And then again, it's just dropped off the face of the earth. Neil, do you think we should go back to one tag team championship rather than having two?
No, I don't think the problem is the number of belts. I think the problem is it's the time that's given to developing these things, because you can have a tag team title on both brands and just execute it well. You just have it. I mean, you know what? Personal opinion, I think a title, whether it's tag team, intercontinental, whatever, I think a title should be defended every other week. no matter what it is. Like maybe you could say, all right, World Heavyweight Championship and Undisputed Championship. Maybe you're like, okay, no, they don't get defended every week. We're going to try and keep them as your core value PLE titles. But you've got tag team titles, you've got intercontinental titles, you've got women's tag titles, you've got women's intercontinental, women's US, men's US. We know that the US title is going to be defended every week.
Yeah.
Why can't the intercontinental title be defended every week? Furthermore, if it's the US title challenge, why isn't the women's US title challenge on every week? Just you set a standard and you keep to it. With the tag team titles, I think the fact that the Street Profits aren't on TV, the fact that Ciampa has left, is affecting the tag division, but not to this degree. It's more down to maybe creative. Like I said it as a joke, but maybe Road Dogg was in charge of creative, and this is why they were like, you know what, maybe it's time to hang it up. But you know, I don't think there's a problem with the division. The problem with the execution of what the division is doing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Right, let's go to the comments. Chris, I like the fact that R-Truth is getting a little push, but the wrestler in the match felt like a bottom card wrestler apart from Damien. I can get that. I don't mind, you know, R-Truth as the backstage character, but in ring, for him to get a bit pushed now seems a bit strange. Maybe he is on his final run, who knows. Richard, thank you for joining the chat. Very weird the tag team tornado happened and they did the same for the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, both things took up a large portion of each show. And maybe that's the way they're still trying to navigate stories, and so therefore they have to have these big, long matches to be able to fill the show. It's an interesting concept if they showed us the draw first, but ultimately the first person is a massive disadvantage. It'd be really interesting, actually, if they had the tag teams out the back and they did the draw for the next person to go out, and then that person then comes through the curtain and make it more of that kind of experience, and them getting, you know, reacting in the back to being drawn or not, like the relief or the happiness they're going to go out to be able to stamp their authority and maybe take the advantage. So yeah, I think that's a, you know, really interesting shout. And Steve says you need the worker titles. Yeah, you do need the mid-card titles. I totally get that. I think, but yeah, going back to Neil, I think it is the way it's being booked, because we can see with the women's tag team division how well it's being booked, but that is just one title. And is that the benefit of having the one title, that you're able to have these tag teams flip between different shows, put superstars together that maybe aren't on the same brand to start with, and then kind of build on that? Because obviously the Irresistible Forces, they won the tag team last week. Then we had kind of a number one contender match go on. We had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and Julia and Kiana James, and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss came out on top. And then we think that, I don't know when that match is going to happen, whether it's going to be next week or, again, anything happening now with number one contendership, it's not really going to drag all the way out to WrestleMania. These things are going to happen in the meantime. But Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Lolly, where do you see this relationship? Is it going to stick? Is it going to twist? Is there a turn? Are they still potentially going to fight at WrestleMania? What are your thoughts?
I think they're going to stick together for a while yet. I don't think it's going to be a forever partnership. At least I don't think it's going to be a partnership by the end of the year. But I think at least for another couple of months, they're going to stick together. How that disappears or breaks up is a completely different story. I mean, we can see that Nia Jax is sort of trying to subtly put in like ideas in Alexa Bliss's head and things like that. So potentially that might come to fruition. But yeah, I think at the moment it works really well. And I really like Charlotte Flair with Alexa Bliss. I think it gives her like a whole dynamic. Obviously, I've come into this like with just seeing Charlotte Flair like that. I kind of have the understanding that people were getting sick of Charlotte Flair before that. I haven't seen that, so I don't know, but I really like Charlotte Flair. So I'm also then happy to see her go on like a run by herself.
She's awesome. Not this guy. He wasn't sick of her. She should have all the belts.
I agree. I mean, if anything, I would have Alexa turn in this relationship. I think that's the way to go. And just, we know Charlotte's better as a heel, but that'd be so predictable. So the fact that she then suddenly feels so betrayed because she's so invested in Alexa now as a friend, I think that definitely be the way to go.
I saw a horror prediction for Charlotte and Alexa Bliss's WrestleMania status.
Oh, yeah?
Absolute horror show. Apparently, they are penciled in to be the hosts of WrestleMania.
Oh my God. No,
Fuck
no.
that. The Queen as a host. Whatever the host does, I've never worked that out, to be honest.
I hate host of WrestleMania.
I hate it, but no. That'd be it. That will be some bitching about wrestling, Kenan.
That would be shocking, absolutely shocking. Right, we got loads still to talk about. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Obafemi. So Obafemi is still our free agent, and Johnny Gargano stepped out of his depression on SmackDown. Really happy for him, but he walked out of his depression and straight into a fall from grace because Gargano called out the locker room from impromptu match in order to get himself back on track, and it was answered by Obafemi, who answered the call and battered him. So I can only imagine he's going back into depression next week. And then Obafemi versus Rusev, and Rusev gave a little bit, it wasn't all about Obafemi on Raw, but Obafemi came out on top. Bruno, how you feel about Obafemi?
Love him. I love him so much, man. I love him in bits. Is the maybe harking back to the days of Vince with the big men, the big monsters doing proper feats of strength and throwing people about. It's so good. The man could never say another word again, and he would still come out as a monster. But it's just the way he talks, the way he presents himself. That entrance, it shouldn't work. Somebody telling him to come out and it shouldn't work, but it does. I mean, it's so good. You see everybody doing it online. The music, I adore him. I've got so much of his stuff just now. I'm just everything about him. I really, really, really hope they do him justice and just keep pushing him and pushing him and pushing him, because the man could take over for a long, long, long time.
Yeah,
I would love to see him on the main roster as a heel as well at some point as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's fantastic. I won't hear a bad word against him. No slander against Oba. No slander at all here.
Well, there's definitely going to be no slander from Obafemi's wise man. Neil, how do you feel he's being booked at the moment?
I am so happy that they're taking their time with Oba, because I don't want them to stick him on stick him on the pitch, stick him in the ring, and just be like, oh, we're gonna immediately dump you into these feuds where you're gonna face the champion and lose because we need to feed the champion a challenger, right? And I mean, Lolly, B, you guys don't know, but I have been screaming and championing Obafemi since his NXT days. The moment when you say like his entrance shouldn't work, there is nothing more beautifully masochistic than watching Obafemi dance his way to a ring before he murders someone. And like I will say, seeing Oba's match against Rusev, who's a big boy, and seeing him pretty much toss Rusev around the same way he used to toss Wesley around is insane. But I'm loving it, and I can't wait for that moment where they're like, oh, Obafemi, here's your, I would love it if Obafemi's opponent, if Brock Lesnar's opponent at WrestleMania was Obafemi. Him and Heyman in the ring, who's gonna come out? And then you hear that music, and then Brock just gets flashbacks of the Royal Rumble, thinking, boy, I had to get this brother distracted before I could get him out the ring. What is going to happen now?
Lee, you were saying a big no. Go, tell us.
I think that'll flatten Oba, because you ain't going to have Brock getting squashed the way Rusev did. And let's be honest, Rusev got a few shots in, but that was a squash.
I mean, true, but one thing I would say is that I think we underestimate Brock Lesnar. I think we're so captivated by his aura, he's Brock Lesnar, and the fact that he gets paid such a vast amount of money. He is such a draw. But Brock is someone who is happy to give back. When
I
given the circumstances, he'll give back. And I'm telling you, because I think Obafemi is WWE's opportunity to do right by him the way that they failed to do by Keith Lee. I think they gave it when Keith Lee entered the Royal Rumble, it was this is your debut party. This is you coming out and being seen. And they gave him that, but then circumstances arose, and in the end he's now not with the company. And I think Obafemi is that, to slot him into that saying, so you know what? You're gonna have a great showing against Brock Lesnar.
But he's going to get thrown about as well, and I just think that will diminish Oba's aura too soon.
Well, not necessarily, because I think you have. I mean, we're forgetting it's Brock Lesnar. It's like,
Brock Lesnar only needs like a 2-3 minute match at WrestleMania. If they actually wanted it to, like the same way that Goldberg beat him on that return, completely take him by surprise and absolutely own him. That's the only way I can see a good match with Obafemi at WrestleMania, because he shouldn't be tested to that effect at the moment by Brock unless it's a real quick win over. So I definitely understand Lee's point on that one. I would rather see Obafemi go on like an undefeated streak for ages before picking up a title as an undefeated person on the main roster.
Superstar, yeah. I mean, what I would love to see, honestly, is, like I said, he turns up against Brock. I would love to see Brock go in there, go hell for leather, put him in the corner, wear him down, give him, 5 or 6 suplexes, give him an F5. One, bam, he kicks out. And Brock just eases out the ring. Paul Heyman runs into the back. He's like, nah, I'm not here to watch this. And then Obafemi just gives it to him. 1, 2, 3. 9 minutes at the most. Give it 7 minutes. 7 minutes, and 2 of that is Oba walking to the ring.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's gonna be a long old entrance. I'm looking forward to that. Richard said Oba has to keep winning slowly, build him up, and then let him loose on the roster. Oba, you will die tonight. Yeah, I see that as a new T-shirt. That'd be awesome. Chris, I'll have Oba come out.
I'll be using the code for that T-shirt.
Yeah. I'll have Oba come out and Brock standing in the ring. See Oba and Brock step out of the ring with a worried look on his face. Yeah, I mean, I think the best way to do it, I think we've mentioned here, is have no one answer Brock's challenge until the night of WrestleMania, and then have whoever's going to come out, and whether it be Oba or whatever it is. But it just keeps all the options open at that point. There's no point tying him into anybody at this point. Right, what else we got to talk about? So Kofi Kingston offered Javon Evans a place in the New Day. So it's a little bit of the old character of Kofi there. So kind of interesting to see how that plays out. We had some stuff that happened off screen. So Maxine Dupree returned to attack Natty during a commercial break. That feud is kind of ticking over a little bit, but they need to do something with it because people are just going to lose interest very, very quickly. Lottie, I want to come to you on this one because obviously this was a feud that you thought had real potential. The fact that Natty came back with his character, it felt like the promo was the same one Natty delivered last week before being interrupted this time. How are you feeling about Natty and Maxine?
I think they're fumbling the Natty character big time at the moment because she was so exciting. That character was so exciting on the independent circuit, like really dynamic, like really aggressive. And all they're doing, like when they actually first started having Natty fight as a Natty character, they had an interference. So you never really got to see Natty at her full potential in the ring. And that's really what I want to see because she is an absolute beast in the ring and we haven't seen it. And I'm like getting really, really frustrated with it. And I just want to see Natty like actually decimate somebody. Let's get her decimating people because that's what she does best. That's what we've seen her do at the Josh Barnett Bloodsport against Promise Braxton and what's her name? Mila Slamovich. Just amazing matches. And we're just not seeing any of it in WWE. And it's really frustrating me. Really, really frustrating me. This is my rant. I want to see Natty in the ring decimating people. Where's Triple H? Do it now.
Yeah, it's such a waste of changing her character to not really embrace it and just go for it. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, just run through a couple of people, show her dominance, and put her into this. This feud could have happened. That's absolutely fine. But Maxine shouldn't be as capable against her as she is. Just decimate her, have off for a few weeks, and then come back and have another match. But it's just too back and forth at the moment. And I know that Natty kind of like stopped the match previous week by throwing into the ring post, but that felt like a cheat win as opposed to actually really beating her down, as opposed to just throwing into a ring post and she getting knocked out.
They shouldn't have brought the security on for that. They should have let her completely and utterly like smashed her into
One of my biggest issues with WWE is the inconsistency in security guards. It's they come out for the stupidest thing, but like, did anybody come out and protect Finn from the Judgment Day? No chance.
You know,
do you know? It's just that I just hate security. I hate security at WWE. It's the most pointless thing. Jacob had to just kill security. Do you know what I mean? But does he get a sanction? Anything happen? No, it's fine. It's just the dumbest thing, and I hate it. If going to Samsung Wrestling's lockbox, if there's a thing that I can lock away, a thing that I can stop happening in WWE, it's security. Security at these events is just nonsense.
And there's my rant. There's Kevin's rant.
One thing I would say regarding Natty, you know what would have been? I mean, what would have really been the perfect thing for this Natty character to turn up would have been, what was it? Do you remember? Was it Raw
Underground? I was going to say
right?
that.
That would have been there. But if not that, I mean, they did a Raw Underground style match recently on NXT, right?
It was great.
You know what? Yeah. Do you know what? Have Natty, instead of having her in a feud, have her just beef the entire women's division in the company. Have her walk from Raw to SmackDown to NXT, and all the people who you know to just be like, yeah, these people can hang. Just have her be like, oh, I heard you can handle business. Me and you, let's do this. And then just be there and just be like, I'm here to face your best. And then you have her go to NXT and just eat Lola Vice, and then eat, Jada Parker, and then eat Kalani Jordan. And then you have her go to SmackDown and eat Chelsea Green. The one time, all right? But have her go there, beat up Meechin, go there, beat up whoever, and then go to Raw and be like, and just work her way through. And then you can have it that maybe that is what leads her into bringing her into the spotlight. She becomes that dominant woman who just beats the crap out of people. She becomes the Brock Lesnar. She becomes what they wanted Ronda Rousey to be. Just walk out, beat the hell out of somebody, and leave. And then, hey, you see where we go from.
Because I was really hoping that they were going to set her up to then have maybe a match against Jordynne Grace at WrestleMania, because that's a match that I think would be absolutely fantastic. And they just seem to have dropped the ball on that completely. I just don't understand what they're thinking at all with that. It just seems like a complete and utter waste. And she is such a hard worker. She knows the business inside and out. She has obviously got the dungeon where she's like bringing, new talent through as well, which they obviously really respect in WWE. But why are they not allowing her to develop her character? I just don't understand it.
Yeah, no, it's some really good points there. And as Steve said, do you mean treat her like a female Oba? Yeah, at this point with this character, she should just be running through people because this is a new side of her we've never seen. And have that complete dominance. Chris says the security did come out for that Finn beat down. It was Judgment Day stopping them getting in the ring. Yeah, they didn't really put much effort into it though. Do you think they earned their paycheck that day? No. I think it was just like Liv kind of kicking out of the ropes. It's like, okay, we're not going to get in. But when there's a brawl between two superstars, they throw their bodies on the line trying to stop these two wrestlers from fighting each other. It's like, no. What else do we have? So Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill went face to face after the exchange of words on Twitter. Rhea Ripley informed the women's champion that she will take her title with sheer force at WrestleMania in an intense war of words. Brado, how do you feel about this face to face? How do you see this going down between Jade and Rhea Ripley?
I've got my kind of thoughts on how the match will go when they get there. I'm fully expecting Io to come out and cost Rhea. I'm fully expecting that's where that's going to go. My predictions are never right, but that's when I'm going to go nail my clothes there and put my foot down and say, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Io will come out and eventually will cost Rhea. As for the confrontation, there was the kind of social media thing. Jade still kind of keeping that going. Jade was actually on TikTok Live earlier.
Oh, really? Okay.
And she was still going on about how you don't know me. I only know my circle, and I'm hated, and I don't really care, and things like that. And it just seemed to be keep going that kind of way. I don't know how much that is built in or planned, but yeah, they're definitely kind of it's heating up a bit. It's probably low in my kind of excitement kind of rating for WrestleMania and things like that. I'm not that invested in it, mainly because I don't think Jade is quite ready there. I think she's got a fantastic look. I actually think she speaks quite well. She could be a really, really good heel, but I just don't think she's kind of ready for title matches at WrestleMania. But that's just my opinion. And again, I think it was a safe choice to put Rhea in with her because of that. I think she needs to be led a little bit during the match, especially if something does go wrong. So for me, this isn't really something I'm that excited about. I'm going to have to kind of get a little bit excited for it because I watch most of the PLEs with my niece, and Rhea has her favourite wrestler. So
you got to get on board, Friday. You got to get on board.
I've got to get on board with that a little bit more, and I am trying. But yeah, it's pretty low in my excitement stakes. But I have obviously predicted the EO thing because I think that's going to eventually come in.
Yeah, it's always harder to build. Yeah, it's always harder to build big main events when there isn't real much history there.
Yeah,
to be able to build upon. So, Neil, you're a fan of Jade, aren't you? Because I know you appreciate her work in AEW and stuff like that. How do you feel she's being used at the moment, and what do you think her run's going to look like into WrestleMania?
I think the problem that we're getting with Jade is because Jade's look is so it truly is. I mean, for lack of a better term, it's iconic. The way she looks, she is the perfect physical specimen. And I think the problem is because she looks so good, you're putting her in situations that she's probably not necessarily ready for, because she looks amazing and she's strong enough to do certain things. We're like, oh, well, she's strong enough and she looks great. Put her in the main event, make her the champion. I'm like, we have enough titles that she doesn't need to be the champion. She needs to be Intercontinental champion. She needs to be a US champion. In fact, the women's US championship would be perfect for her. You have her win that and then defend it every week. And then every week she's getting better and better and better and better and better. And then when you've had 6-9 months, maybe even a full year of getting there, then you're like, here's the world title, you're going against Rhea Ripley. Because, do you know and the whole thing about talking, fortunately, we live in 2026, where you don't have to do your best promo work in the ring. You can do it online. I very much hope that the whole online situation, the whole Twitter things and all of that, I really hope that all of that is just scripted and it's not real, because at the end of the day, like, take kayfabe and storylines out of this, you're a team and you need to work together as a team. You can't be beefing with someone and then entrust your life to this person when you jump off the top turnbuckle to crash through them on the announcer's table. You need to have trust. So, like, let's hope it's all just kayfabe, nonsense.
It is.
But,
it is. I'd refer you back to Unreal when
yeah.
Charlotte and Tiffy had that silly little spat in the ring. They squashed that immediately. They were like, you can't do that.
Exactly. That's what I'm truly, genuinely hoping for. I just think. But one thing that Jade said, and I know this is going to slightly veer off topic, so forgive me for that. There was a whole thing about every time things don't go Rhea's way, she goes to creative.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think every single person, if you work for WWE as a superstar, you need to have your ass in creative at least a couple of times a week, a couple of times a month. Because when I thought about it, I really did think about this whole creative thing. Do you know the greatest thing that has come from creative, from a wrestler saying, I'm going to creative? The New Day.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Woods had nothing to do, went there. Vince, listen, give me this opportunity. I'm going to show you something special. And what happens? We get the New Day. Yeah, it started out a bit rocky. It was a bit of a rocky road when they was preachers. But you think the whole thing of Biggie doesn't become WWE champion without Xavier Woods going to creative. Kofi Kingston doesn't get Kofi Mania without Xavier Woods going to creative. So going to creative is not a bad thing. I think so using it as a like an insult is not necessarily the best thing. But I would say that insult made me think of something. Rhea is basically Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
You take that back.
Triple H. No. Hear me out. And I say it's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. Rhea and Triple H. So they both come into the ring with a very generic gimmick. The Hunter Hearst Helmsley gimmick, the blonde, no tattoos Rhea. They both get a little bit more edgy. They both join a stable. They both join a alternative badass stable.
Mm-hmm.
They both become the star that they are, that we know them as now, right? You can say Judgment Day is basically, a version of D-Generation X. Rhea Ripley is basically a version of Triple H.
Interesting take, yeah.
It is, but at the end of the day, going to creative is something you should be doing, because if you're going to be great in the ring, you kind of need to be great at also creating stuff.
Yes.
Chris Jericho has never won Elimination Chamber. He created it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need to be going to creative and being like, this is an idea. This is an idea. I'm not doing anything right now. Maybe this should happen. Oh, you need to bolster your champion. What if this storyline works?
They're all going to creative. It's a swerve. I don't think it's anything more than a loaded comment to get the marks talking and go. Ooh.
Yeah. I think for me this feud, look, it's early days. I think they have to build into something because there's a long way to go. But
I don't get the Jade hate. I don't get it, Kenan. I think she looks fantastic. I think she wrestles all right. I think she delivers a promo. I love Jade Cargill.
I'm just indifferent.
As do I, sir. As do I. But I think
the problem is that she just hasn't defended the title. That's my main problem with.
Agree with that.
I don't have a problem with how she looks. I think she looks fantastic. She's probably one of the best looking female wrestlers on the roster at the moment, physicality wise. She's great on the mic. She's got the presence when she comes out. She's got the entrance music. Everything about her ticks all of the right boxes, apart from the fact that she hasn't bloody defended the title. And when she was yapping in front of Rhea and saying things like, I'm the best women's champion, you're not. You haven't defended anything on TV. What on earth are you going on about? Like, if you're actually that good, prove it. You haven't proved it to me.
Yeah, I mean, she had one match against Jordan Grace, and Jordan outshone her in the ring, and she needs to be doing more.
Yeah, I think the Jade hate, as much as I love Jade, and I will literally defend her to the cows come home, there is a truth to the fact that she has been pushed to the top of the card very quickly, and we have to take into account this is not necessarily fully her fault. With Bianca being injured and Naomi being pregnant, it's put you in a position where the quote-unquote big three that they kind of called themselves, you now literally only have one of them.
Yeah.
And it's the one who, whilst physically is amazing, you have the one who, when it comes to in-ring work, is the least capable. I don't mean that as an insult to her. It's just compared to Bianca and Naomi, who both have been in wrestling for decades longer than Bianca hasn't been in a decade, but they've both been doing it for so much longer than Jade. It just you wind up in this position where you've got someone who's not fully ready. You know,
we've lost your mic there, Neil. I think so. You might need to check your mic. It's kind of maybe been knocked out or something like that.
Can I butt in again? Because actually, if you've got Jade who does need a bit of like not hand holding, but a bit more of an experienced, wrestler with her, why could she not have had some sort of feud with Natty, so that Natty can then bring in this like character from like the indies as well? It just feels a bit like they've missed a trick a little bit. And I agree, it's not Jade's fault at all. It's the circumstances, but the fact that she hasn't defended the title not only makes the title feel a bit irrelevant, but it's starting to make Jade a little bit irrelevant as well at the moment. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah, you can have there is a fine balance between having a champion with an aura who doesn't defend and being consistent. So like CM Punk always wants to have matches where Roman Reigns would begrudgingly have a match when he had to. I think they were kind of stuck with Jade, like Neil mentioned, the fact that, Bianca and Naomi, that was kind of that storyline that was being played out there. I think that they thought, well, if we don't put the title on her, she's not the type of character to go chasing for a title, and the crowd aren't going to support her in the same way as they would maybe someone like Tiffy, or, what I mean, where they can get behind a little bit more. So having her as that heel champion works for her character. I just think they just need a bit more. And I think she would work better with more backstage promos, just like vignette videos and stuff like that. I think that would definitely help her more than what she's currently doing. So, but yeah. But that, again, that's why I thought Rhea was going to win the Chamber, because I thought if there's going to be one person who can take her through a WrestleMania match, it's going to be her. So the other one I wanted to talking about vignettes, we had Stephanie Vickers. She did a promo. It was kind of a little bit talking very much about the stuff that she spoke about Liv previously in that little live interview, but they could give it a little bit more depth and gravitas with the translation and stuff like that. How are you guys feeling about Liv versus Steph at the moment? Lee, you're happy?
Love it. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that match. I think it's going to be a banger. Looks good on a WrestleMania poster. Steph's a talent and a half. Liv's just got this charisma that pours out. I don't know. I've got no issues with that at all. They ignited it a couple of weeks back, didn't they? They took the torch paper and went whoosh, up it went, and now we've got a WrestleMania match.
And I think allowing Stephanie to do her stuff in her native tongue definitely makes a huge difference, to be able, because I thought she was going to lose a title to Raquel a few weeks back, because I wasn't sure she could carry the promo through to WrestleMania. But I think she has surprised me in what she's been able to deliver, and I do like the story they're building with Liv in terms of where they come from and their journey in WWE. So I am kind of enjoying that. And they don't need to be beating on each other every week, even though she did come out obviously and pulled her away from Raquel's match this week. But I think it's been a nice build. Anybody else want to talk about these two?
I'm not hating. I'm not. But this match, the build for this match should be bigger and better than it is. Because you have this match is it's Eddie Guerrero versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is two people who are at one person who's at the height of their marketability and everything of how good they are, good on the mic, good in the ring, good as a presence, perfectly fitting their character, and someone who the audience has just immediately gravitated to and is continuing to put in the work, which is keeping people gravitating to them. And I don't need to see Liv running around with Judgment Day beating the crap out of Finn, when I can see her just giving it to Stephanie on the mic. You know, Liv should be having matches against people that instantaneously she's going to beat, and then she should be pulling off Stephanie's moves in the middle of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then be like looking at the camera like, did you see that? Did you like that? She should be pulling off things like that.
Yeah, if you're commenting on the fact that she's had the best training, she's had this, she's had that, demonstrate it, wind her up with it, tease her with it a bit more. Yeah,
that's exactly
I can see that. All right, I think that was most of the things I had to say. Oh, also Danhausen was he had a segment in the break where he was handing out t-shirts in the ring as well. I think we're all Fanhausens here, aren't we?
I love Danhausen so much. He's my favorite.
More than Punk?
Oh no, Punk.
But
Danhausen loves Punk as much as I love Punk, so you know.
He does. Did you see the t-shirt he gave him on Instagram with yeah. No, he's a really fun character, and I had no idea who he was before his unveiling at the Elimination Chamber, but I'm digging him. Friday, are you a Fanhausen?
Massive Fanhausen. Really big Fanhausen. What is it? I've got loads of Danhausen stuff. I had all the Danhausen stuff before it was cool to like Danhausen.
Hey.
Does Danhausen wrestle, or is he a mascot?
No, he can wrestle. He can
wrestle.
And he's not bad in the ring neither.
He's agile. He's pretty good. I'm a massive fan. Like I said, for a guy that grew up thinking like technical wrestlers were the best, I'm starting to get away from that a little bit and more enjoying a little more entertainment now from it, and I like that kind of thing. Quick segments, and like I said, although it may not have been planned this way, and he got the boos and he got that reaction, they've not stopped talking about him. No. And arguably, you could say they spoke more about Danhausen and his debut than Seth coming back, honestly, because it was just Danhausen.
100%.
This terrible, and it was terrible. Then he came over, they had the little segment, and then he got a little bit more of a cheer, a little bit more of a pop, and then more and more. Then obviously with the SmackDown bit, and then again last night. I love him. I think he's great. I liked him in AEW, and I thought he would be far more suited to WWE. So I'm really happy that he's over, and long may it continue, because we need a little bit more fun and a bit more kind of, I don't know, a wee bit more kind of entertaining segments backstage. Sometimes it can be a little bit negative and drab and a little bit dark at times. So yeah, get a wee bit more comedy in there. I don't mind that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I love that segment with the demands, and he was like, Hall of Fame entry this year.
Yeah. I want to picture with Triple H doing the fingers. And as Steve said, if you don't like and subscribe and hit that bell and get notified, you are cursed. What else we said? So yeah, I think we were kind of saying I didn't not like Dan's debut at Elimination Chamber. I just didn't know anything about him. I think for a lot of the fans that's probably the same, but I think now we know more about him and who he is, you can't help but love him and fall in love with his character and just kind of just want him to do more and more. Alex said, wife just looked at me and said, you went from hating him to loving him then. And Alex is like, yes, we all love him now. Absolutely. Chris said, ready to explode. Don't like Dan, but I enjoy goofy wrestling. Never liked Punk. Sorry. Yeah, we've all got a lot of Punk haters on here. That's fine. It comes with the territory. Steve, I saw Dan in AEW. He's a great laugh because it's interesting what he's going to do. I wonder if we get a cameo from Danhausen. Oh, cameo. Yeah, maybe we can get a cameo. Does Danhausen do cameos? That'd be awesome. I might pay for it. 200 quid. Oh yeah, okay, maybe not. Yeah.
I'll sort you a pay rise, buddy. We'll get put it on expenses. It's fine.
Put it on expenses. Yeah, I wonder how many people at head office understand what Danhausen means. They'll probably just think it's a parts for a boiler or something like that. I'll just say.
HR approved.
HR approved. Awesome. Right. I think that's everything I wanted to cover today, guys. We've gone way over than what I expected to today. So thank you very much for sticking with me. Is there anything anybody else wants to talk about? No, we're all good. Right. So first of all, Brido, tell us where we can find you on social media if people want to know more about you.
Find me on TikTok, Belt Up Brido, mostly collectibles, title belts as per the name. I'm on Instagram now as well. So if anyone wants to check out there, you'll find me on there. Short videos, lives every now and again, monthly competitions and things like that. So yeah, mostly on TikTok, catch me on there.
Awesome. And Lolly, where can we find you?
You can find me on TikTok at It's Lolly Holland, and I've also started writing more long-form content on medium.com. So you can also find me under the same pen name on Medium.
Oh, tell us more about Medium. I haven't heard of that.
So Medium's like a blogging website, and anyone can sign up and you can write long form content and things like that. So I've just started penning things because there's a lot of things that I would like to do for TikTok, but because of time constraints and attention spans mainly, it just doesn't work for that format. So I've started doing long form content. I do like a lot of research. I'm a bit sad, so I save lots of things that I come across, and I'm like, oh, that would be a really good article. So I've got a couple up at the moment. I've got another one that's sort of in my head, which is probably going to be around the length of entrances at the moment. As you all know, I don't like the length of entrances at the moment. So keep your eyes peeled for that piece coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. That's great stuff. And Neil, what about yourself?
You can find me here.
Okay. You can find Neil here, and you can find him on the Completed It podcast. So if you like anything to do with comic books, movies, basic general entertainment, Completed podcast, I've been on there a few times as well. It's hosted by our good friend Andy. So yeah, make sure you follow them on YouTube and the social media platforms. Completed It. Lee, obviously, as everything needs to be HR approved, you're not anywhere on social media, are you?
No, you get female listeners or male listeners, to be honest, to Wrestling is Awesome. You can find me on Tinder. You can find me on Bumble. No, I'm joking. I will have a new Instagram page coming out soon.
Awesome.
Well, it should be my fitness journey. But apart from that,
Great.
HR ain't on the socials.
Yeah, no, exactly. Very delicate. Look, thank you for everybody to joining us in the chat. We really appreciate you. Everybody on YouTube, Chris and Steve and everybody on there. Alex, a great show, guys. I acknowledge you. Thank you very much. Chris as well. Thank you for being here as always. We really appreciate you. And thank you everybody on TikTok. 10,000 likes. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you on there. Thank you so much. We are here every Tuesday at 8:45 to talk everything WWE. I really want to get onto TikTok more, but it's just time. Every day I have an intention of doing something and it just doesn't happen. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So fair play to Lolly and Brido for the amount of content they get out. So it's fair play to you. And I think that's about it, guys. So thank you very much for joining us. What's next? So I'm not even sure what's coming up on SmackDown this week. Has anything been advertised? I can't think what's been advertised. I know we've got what we got on Raw in terms of AJ and Bailey and Roman's
Probably
back next week.
Brock's back.
Yeah,
Hopefully
Brock's there.
Kit Wilson meeting Danhausen. That's what I'm hoping for on SmackDown.
Yes, I am here for that. Can you imagine? Kit Wilson cursed?
I think Kit Wilson. No, I think Kit Wilson will just keep saying to Danhausen that he's toxic, and I think Danhausen will think it's a compliment.
Yeah, toxic, cursed, toxic. Guest toxic. Yeah, you can see that happening for sure. Kit Housen. Oh yeah. There's a tag team screaming there. Surely Kit Housen. Very well done, Steve. Awesome. Right, that's it. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to shut down on YouTube now. So thank you very much, and until next time, peace out. Oh yeah, I'm on Twitch as well apparently, but I don't know if anyone watches it on there. So that's fine. Let's end the stream. End.